So let's start. Today we have a bit less time. I have to go to and solve the lead bi-weekly contest from 8 p.m. So I have to live stream earlier and a bit shorter because I also have to go to the gym. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I have not understood these two problems as well. I will need to understand them both as well. So let's start from these two and let's try these five patterns as these five questions as well. So that we can be sure that in the 800 questions we have tried everything, and the one, two, three, and then this four, and then this five and six. Like these are the questions which I have not been able to understand till now. And let's see later, like what are the things we are still not able to understand from the next set of questions. So yeah, things opening. Like two questions open. I'll go for mistake. Okay, yeah. The stream is working perfectly. And also no one watches, so who gives a shit? But yeah, let's start this. Obviously, find it useful, but I won't do it because I'm poor. Uh, Why didn't thought that the uh, that the A from A1 to AN is rather one or two. Like I was thinking of doing something unnecessary, but there is one more thing you should. By the way, the reason why I look exhausted is because I've been already working like for this much today. Don't know if you can say it, and I've actually not slept today. Like I have not taken a nap. So I'm kind of tired, but today is one of those days when we just have to push through. It's either we don't do something or we push through and do it, do everything we wanted. If I don't do this, then I would have two things which I didn't do today. One will be building something and one will be live streaming. So at least I want to have to sleep with the guilt of knowing that I only missed one thing on my target list today. So that's that. Let's focus. Jesus. Mm. Fuck you. Oh yeah. You fuck you. You are like my internet connection is just too slow by Reliance gets me annoyed all the freaking time. Like, how can it be so slow? No, it's accepted. I also like to read the tutorial for this problem. I want to see how others approached it. Finally, from tomorrow, I can actually try and solve some, difficult problems. Not difficult, 900 detailed problems finally from tomorrow. It's on a live stream. Nice. We will do that. So basically, in this question, we were given ones and twos, and the question specifically stated this, by the way. And then it also stated that k should be between 1 to n minus 1. That's why I was getting all these wrong answers because I took k from 0 to n minus 1, first of all. Then it says that find a point in the entire array, a singular point till which and after which the multiplication of the elements remains same. Like if an array is like of five elements from A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, then find a K. For example, like if the K is 3, then A1 cross A2 cross A3 will be equal to A4 cross A5. Or if K is 2, then A1 cross A2 will be equal to A3 cross A4 cross A5. So that's what the entire question is asking. Now, if we think about the problem, there are only two elements, 1 and 2, and one won't change the solution whatsoever. So there, the other viable solution, the other viable case which can have is if there appears to be a 2, then it will change the solution. So we can simply think about multiplying. The 2's will multiply on both sides and will change the answer. So if we have the same number of 2's on both sides, then if we have the same number of 2's on both sides, then the answer we will get will be same, right? So that's what this problem is all about asking all about. And in my code also, I did this. Like I took two counts, left count and right count, and I basically used them as a window. Like if this is the entire window, initially the left window will be zero and entire will be right window. Then here we come. Then this will be the left window. This will be the right window. Then I come here. Then this will be the left and this will be right. And eventually, entire window will be left and the right will be zero. And if in this while doing this, if at any point the left and right count becomes equal, then that means that is the smallest k value, and we will do plus 1. Why? Because k starts not from 0 but from 1. And if we don't find after traversing the entire array, as if we don't find after traversing the entire array that left count or right count is equal, then we will just return minus 1, or we will return our answer which is initialized, which is declared as minus 1, right? So the first question is done. Let's get on with our second question. Uh, Obviously, I won't write. I would do like do for every question. I am dumb, but yeah, I'm very dumb to be honest. I was gonna say that I'm not that dumb, but to be honest, maybe I am or maybe I'm not. Who knows? God knows. God knows. Oh, So yeah, my approach was actually wrong. I was feeling that the approach is wrong, some way, shape, or form. Now I just don't understand, like, is that wrong? How is it wrong? I was I was having doubts about this approach, but now I'm sure that it's wrong because obviously it has been going wrong, right? So what was the problem? The problem with, code forces that makes me so angry is that don't give you like which test case fail. Just let it be found. So I actually got the test case in which my solution will be wrong. What if from what if from the place uh, from right on the element like 1 1 1 3 3 3 3 3 3. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equals to 3. And in by my approach, I was changing that 3 was 3 to n minus 1. I was swapping the numbers. But if I swap still, I will swap a 3 with a 3, it will still be a 3. So that approach is wrong. So basically, I need to change it to a new number. Should I store them in an array or something? Or should I create a map? Obviously, I won't take the solution from a GPT. Why? It would be dumb. It would be really dumb if I just GPT the solution and I never thought about it. Yeah, that's the problem. Though. Yeah, bro. Why? Can you be quick? I need to get back to solving. I'm just waiting to read your question, answer, and then get back to my solving. Maybe I will. Let's start again. Points to the first character, the smallest character, smallest integer in the set, and then the multiplication sign actually dereferences the pointer to the actual value. And then we will have to change the actual value as well. So I should store it somewhere, possibly. No, this won't work. This won't work. Won't work. Oh, this won't work. No, this isn't lead code. This is Codeforces. Actually, when I was also just starting, I didn't know that the difference between different coding sites. Basically, there are two or three coding sites which are most prominent, which everyone uses. The first one is Lead Code. You already know that. Uh, I guess my mic is not clear, but this is not Lead Code. I'm solving questions from Codeforces. It's one of the most prominent sites for competitive programming. Basically, there are three or four main sites we use for competitive programming, like LeetCode, Codeforces, CodeChef, AdCoder, Geek for Geeks, and the most two prominent, the most famous sites for competitive programming are basically LeetCode and then competitive programming, Codeforces. Uh, can I join you? Obviously not, because this is a solo journey. As always, the more the more alone time you spend competitive programming, better it is. If you have zero coding knowledge, then you should actually start learning coding. If you want to, that's the point. Like if you have zero coding knowledge and you want to actually start learning code, then you should start because CP is fun. If you like problem solving or if you like to solve different problems and if you like to solve problems in a way that it feels fun and it feels like a game, then CP is great because I have that kind of a brain which loves to see the numbers go up. And in CP, you can see your numbers go up by what is your rating or by the amount of questions you solved. You can see that number, that particular number. So it's really great. And so, yeah, if you really do feel like that you want to learn code, then just start and don't think twice before starting because everyone is a noob at some point. Everyone is a novice at some point. When I started lead code, I wasn't even able to do easy questions. I still sometimes get stuck on easy questions, but mostly now, if it's not a new data structure like a try or like a deep or like a graph, I'm able to solve easy level questions. So if you think that you are too below, then you just need to start and put more work in than everyone else, and then you will get better. That's why I started doing these live streams as well. The goal for these live streams was not to get subscribers or something like that. The goal accountable because the whole internet or any part of the internet could be watching me, and so I need to be able to actually do the work in front of people because if I won't, then people will shame me. Why are you taking so stress cloud out of the cloud? I'm not stressing. You are thinking that I'm stressing, but I'm not stressing. It's just fun. And my goal is to be an engineer. And the primary job for an engineer is to be able to solve problems. And CP is a great way to develop that ability to solve problems. And that's why I love doing CP. And I will be stressing because Obviously, I plan in the near future for the next 5 years, for the next at least 3 to 4 years, I plan on being a software engineer, and then maybe I will diversify into other forms of engineering. So obviously, if it's a job pursuit of mine, if I'm pursuing it as a job, I will be stressing about it. And it's not that Claude or other platforms can do the entire coding for you. Like they are specifically good in one domain, but if you want to do something different, if you want to architecture something different, if you want to do some level of high level system design, then you still need to know the basic concepts, right? And yeah, that's it. Bye. Take care. All right, such messy code. So basically, you can't store a pair in a another set. I would have to use another. Yeah, I would have to use a normal set. So basically, auto it will be an iterator which will point to the first value of the set, and this is wrong. And let me explain why this is wrong. Because first of all, I'm doing s dot begin. Why is this even wrong? Because I'm reading it as that s dot begin is dereferenced to a pair which whose like for example this should work if there is not this colon arrow symbol but a dot symbol. Why? Because first of all, when I dereferenced it, it's not an iterator anymore. S dot begin points to an iterator. The value of s dot begin is an iterator. But when I dereference it, it becomes the actual value. It becomes the actual value. So for an actual value, if you want to get the first to second part, we just have to write the actual value dot first or dot second. From to get a value from an iterator, we need to put the arrow. So I think that's the reason why it was not working. Let me ask as well, just to confirm it. Oh, when I write this, uh, this arrow has a higher precedence than the star. So the compiler first compiles this full version, which returns an int, and we can't dereference an int. So now I get it. Why that was the problem. I get it. To be honest, I don't think that this problem requires this much complexity, and I'm just making this more and more complex. But this is the kind of this is the solution which my mind is coming up with, and obviously I will check just after trying this one. If this also doesn't work, then I will ask GPT that what's wrong with my approach. First, let's check if these basic test cases are like they are working or not. 3636. Yeah, it's working. No, yes, one. It doesn't really matter what the sum is. One, four, six. It's working. At least here it's working. The problem is I've also increased the time and space complexity by a lot because I've also used uh, an extra set, and then I've also used an extra array. So that's at least in the worst case, it will be a big O of n and 2 cross big of n, which will come out to be big O of n. And for the time complexity, I would have to compute that because for hashing, since I am not using unordered set, I won't be using hashing, and so the worst case time complexity to find something in a set is log n. So that will also be in the so it will be something like n log n, which is still not great to be honest. Mostly we need to get a solution around n, like most of the time. And since it's just an 880 question, so if this solution passes all test cases, then it won't give a runtime error. But this is not the optimal solution by any means. Fuck. But it was there in the taking problem that the arrays so it is. You're given an array such that A1 is less than equal to A2 is the I codeforces like child it can even create codeforces. There was an observation which we needed to see, but I wasn't able to see it. Fuck, bhai. Verify the final array. Why would I? Why would I verify the final array? Uh, this is something which I thought about that if there are multiple ugly positions, your swap may fix one while creating another. But my mind wasn't able to process uh, any test cases where this can happen. But that was just because of my low compute ability. So I would have to check it. not trained on Codeforces problems because you can't use ChatGPT like for Codeforces like you use for lead code. It's just something which I am beginning to realize now. Oh, see, this is wrong. Yeah, this is a failed condition because 4 is equal to 4. So obviously the solution that ChatGPT gave me is wrong. I will have to see the tutorial myself. Why do I even need to build a vector? Okay, so instead of doing all this garbage, I can just say out way of n minus um, some space and P of 0 and some space. We can say out V or I into space. And it will work. Now this has to work. And it's working. It's working, but let's check. And obviously, I wasn't able to crack the solution at all. And even after reading the tutorial, I'm still a bit edgy about the problem. So I will have to see it and understand it once more. I, I can't end it like this, right? But first, let's check like is the solution at the last at least correct or not? It's finally at the very least it's correct, and I've actually done the problem. Uh, That will be done. If you put the maximum in the array on the first position, then for every other element starting from the third one, the sum of the elements. Okay, it's worrying about that case. A case in which it's 1 1 and then 3 3 3 3 3 or something like that. Basically, it's worrying about those cases. Okay, to put the maximum there on the first position, and for every other element starting from the third one, the sum of elements before it will be greater than the sum of elements. Then starting from the third character, the sum of elements before it will be greater than it. Yeah, since that sum is greater than the maximum value of the array. Yeah, because the second character sum is also added to the first one, so it will be greater. So the only element that can make our array ugly is the second element. Why? Because because it's still only because the for the first character is the maximum, but the second character can also be equal to the maximum. That's what they're trying to imply here. But I don't think that there can be a case something like this happens because if we think about it, uh, like the second character can never be equal to the last character. Why? Because if the first character is like one and the second character, but that would make it there can be a case actually. I don't think that it's case. I at least I can't seem to find any a case like this. Uh, like there can be a case some of 144 then the maximum but there are only three elements so it's one of those edge cases but using the solution we can generalize it like 144 and we put the first element 4 and it's 441 the sum is like this is the problem this is what this tutorial is saying that there can be this case that starting from the third character it's not possible because the sum will always be greater than the maximum and that's why. But for the second character, it's dubious. It may happen, and that's why they are trying to negate all possibility by placing the uh, minimum character of the array on the second position. So their sum is never equal to that. And the only case when their sum gets equal is when the entire array is equal and v1, v0 is equal to vn minus 1. But in that case, we have already uh, taken this if statement to handle this case at the cout. The answer will be no. So yeah, with this, I'm gonna end today's stream because it's 7:14 and I have to go to the gym and then I have to come back from the gym and I have to give one more contest, League Code contest, the bi-weekly one, which is at 8 o'clock today. So yeah, the target was 4, did 2. Peace.